Okay, here's number 3 on the graphing part that you weren't allowed to use a graphing calculator. And again, I need to find the domain. I need to find the equations of vertical asymptotes or any points of discontinuity. I need to find the equation of the horizontal or slant asymptote. I need to find x and y intercepts, and I need to then graph it. And so I'm looking at this here, and again, the domain. What am I not allowed to have is the easier way to find it here. I'm not allowed to have 0 in the denominator, so my domain, I'm going to set my domain, and I'm going to do it here at the bottom here. My domain is going to be set to x plus 3 equal to 0. That gives me x is not allowed to be negative 3. Okay, well, same thing when you want to do the vertical asymptotes. Set the bottom equal to 0. Well, that's x plus 3, and you subtract it so you get negative 3. So my vertical asymptote is just like the other problems, if you were correcting those ones. I'm going to draw the vertical asymptote at x equals negative 3 right there. So I got it right there. It might not be perfectly straight up and down, but it's pretty close. Okay? So we've got that there. Then we're supposed to get, is there horizontal or vertical? Well, I got x squared in top, right there. And I got x squared here, which is going to cause this x inside to also become squared when if you did all the foiling. Okay, so that means I have to look at the leading coefficients. The leading coefficients is 1. And when I do all the foiling, this is also going to be 1. So I'm going to end up getting my horizontal asymptote is y equals 1 divided by 1, which is 1. So y equals 1. I'm going to draw it right here. Whoops, I don't want to do that. I'm going to use a straight line. Okay, there's my horizontal asymptote. I really don't like this vertical one here. So I'm going to get rid of it and do it again. And this I just connect with the pin here. So there we are there. So we're back to, looks okay, a little bit junky in the middle. So we've got those there. There's our asymptotes. And now it's asking for the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Okay. So the x-intercept, I'm running out of space at the bottom there. So the x-intercept, again, x-intercept is where y equals 0. When will the output of this be 0? That's what you're asking. Well, it's when the top is equal to 0. As long as the bottom isn't equal to 0, isn't going to be dividing by 0, then we can do it. So the top equal to 0 when x equals 0, which implies, since already y is 0, 0, comma 0. And when you do the y-intercept, you set all the x's equal to 0. And when you do that, the top becomes 0 squared, and the bottom becomes 3 squared, which is 9, and 0 divided by 9 is 0. So again, you get the same thing here. You get 0, comma 0. You end up getting the same coordinate from both of those. So we don't have any differences, so I'm going to graph 0, 0. Okay, so we've got that there. Now the question is, what is going on here? Well, when we look at this 0 here, right there, it came from what? It came from the x-intercept over here. So I'm going to delete all that. It came from there. And that number came from setting the top equal to 0. So the top is there is 0. And when I look at that, what's the multiplicity on that? Well, the multiplicity is 2. That's even. That means you should be tangent. This should be a tangent to the x-axis. Any graph is either going to bounce off like this or bounce off like this. And not quite, it's actually going to touch it, but bounce off. So I know that it's going to bounce off. The question is, which way am I coming from, the top or bottom? Okay, well, let's pick a point. What point do you want to pick? I'm going to pick, let's pick an easy point. Let's put 1 in. Okay, so let's put 1 in. So when I put 1 in, the top of this becomes 1 squared over 4 squared, which is 1/16, but the key is it's positive. When I go to graph that, this is going to be 1, 1/16. That's just slightly, that's just right here. That's slightly above the x-axis, somewhere right there. Well, if that's above, you can try another point. Let's say like -2, if you want to try -2. So let me erase all this. I want to try -2 in there. You can pick as many points as you need, and when you do that, you're going to get -2 squared over, well, -2 plus 3 is 1 squared. Well, that's nice and convenient because that's 4. So when I put -2 in there, I got 4. -2 is here. 4 is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be about right there. So I already know that, and I already said it's going to bounce off. It's got to come down. It's got to bounce off. So we cross, and it's going to get really close to the asymptote, but not quite cross it. So it really goes way out here like this. Okay, so it kind of bends like that. Maybe not quite as bulbous, not quite as much as a bubble that I have there, but it's close. Okay, well, let's look at the what caused this vertical asymptote. Well, this did, and its multiplicity is 2. So that means if they have to come from the same direction. This came from the top, so on the other side of it, it also has to come from the top. And I don't have any more crossings or anything like that, so it's going to be, I don't have any x-axis or anything, so it's just going to go like this. And you can always pick some points down here to verify, but it's going to go like that. And there's our graph. A little bit trickier than the first two.